The biggest game of our season is here as we host the Pitt Panthers, the number 3 team in the nation, the number 1 team in the ACC, all while trying to keep our 5-game win streak alive. Well, that's going to be pretty difficult against this Panthers team. They started their season with 2 blowout wins, 54-6 over Miami of Ohio and 36-7 over the UCF Black Knights. They then would go on to nearly double the score of Wisconsin, 42-24, but then slow down a bit against Syracuse while winning 27-17. They didn't give up any points in the second half, but it was a 10-point game. Things would then get even tighter against Virginia Tech. 34-27, undefeated, still in check, but it has come at a cost for Pitt. And if we are to have hope of keeping our win streak alive, Mason Kelce has got to perform today. The accuracies are a bit all over the place, but he is a threat and the leader of this offense. But we need more than 5 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions from that leader. Of course, he has guys to lead on. Aiden Harris at running back, and at receiver, Tank Hawkins is continuing a breakout stretch. He'll also have the redshirt sophomore tight end in Dakota Taylor, making his first official start. The hands, the route running, the blocking, the speed is far better than what we had before. And they'll all be facing a Pitt defense that works as a unit, not necessarily any one player in particular standing out. The one player that is out. Jeremiah Wilson, and the captain of this defense, dislocated his hip. He is out, but he was leading this Pittsburgh team in interceptions. Meanwhile, our defense has to deal with the likes of Eli Holstein, the redshirt junior quarterback here for Pitt, who has shown ability to do just about everything. And he's doing so with high efficiency, 17 touchdowns to just a single interception, throwing an interception rate of 0.5%. He's also the current leader in carries for the Panthers. However, it's coming at a 2.4 yards a rush rate. Emmett Johnson, their primary back, he is out injured, so they will be instead relying on Goff and Brand. And the receiving core here for Pitt is on the older side. A lot of seniors, a lot of juniors. And while there's not a whole lot of sacks given up by the Pitt front line, they have been giving up a lot of pressure. And that is where Kent State thrives. Currently the 3rd best sack team in all of the country. And if just playing the game wasn't enough, we have a few recruits coming in. Visit James Tejeda, the power rusher defensive tackle. Technically, Steven Natson will also be in attendance, and if we perform poorly, I guess there's always a chance he could look to decommit. We also have Sam Battles, a corner that we are now in a battle with Western Michigan, and Emmanuel Komar in a battle with Iowa State, all 4 in attendance today. And let's not forget, this is our 3rd televised game that's underway. Harris looking back to return, catches it at the goal line, and he will look to return in what might be a poor decision. To the 14 will be where Mason Kelce, the redshirt freshman transfer quarterback, heads out with his offense. Now, the thing to remember with this group is they have expanded their playbook of late, getting a lot more players involved early and often as they go RPO. This one is out to carry, and he's had struggles this year, but he's going to pick up about 15. And after starting way backed up, that is a big play to help get you away from your end zone, though. Harris with limited space. Sean Fitzsimmons, though, down on the field for the Panthers, and this one does not look good. He was clutching towards what looked to be that left knee area. Hopefully, he's going to be able to bounce back, but it's 2nd and 9 here, as they do look to throw the ball high, intended for Hopperton. And after a very promising first play, things have definitely slowed down here for Kent State. They're going to have to find a way to pick up 9 yards here. They do change up their play call, though. Taylor moves over to the right-hand side, now going to move back over to the left-hand side. Make that a weak eye, and now more motion. Bailey over to the left-hand side, as they do look to go with a little bit of some play action. Chucking this one downfield. Bailey intended, but tipped away, and that is a punt. And against a higher level team, not really how you want to start off. Holstein coming off 318, 3 touchdowns last week. Of course, missing one of his running backs back there. Whole team in general seems to be a bit banged up. As they start with play action, they leak it out to the tight end, who's got the first down. About 13 for Pitt. That is the concern here for Kent State. Their defense this year, while it's been great getting pass rush, the pass coverage been a little bit lackluster. As Holstein takes his time here pre-snap, he throws wide, out wide. No one there. Shrugging off the tackle attempt and getting out of bounds. A couple easy tosses for Holstein out the gate, facing the blitz here. But again, wide open. It's been 3 plays and 3 first downs here for Pitt as they are rocking some hurry up here out the gate. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. As they go a little bit of some play action and again find their tight end. This time, though, not a first down. I'm definitely going to have to see how Coach Ty looks to attack this Panthers offense as the game goes along. It was a free rush Thompson, but again, tight end Holmes. The quick passing game we've seen from Holstein, it will slow down a lot of blitzing attempts here, and Coach Ty is an aggressive play caller. Shortest play of the day for the Panthers early on here as they do look to go hurry up, about a gain of 1 or so. A lot of play action. They have not handed that ball off yet. But with an eye for him here, they might look to shake things up. Handing it off, and Howard is on it. Loss of 2. And what would be fantastic here for Kent State is standing inside your own 10. Force a field goal attempt. Keep you close. But eventually, working his way open. Victor Snow for Pittsburgh puts them on top. It looked like man coverage across the board. And Stockstill was a bit too slow to work his way across the field. Well, that may be the expected start for this one. It's not what Coach Ty holds this team to, so they need a strong second drive. Get themselves back in action here, flipping this one out. It's to Harris, who just does not have the speed to find the edge. Perkins comes down from the safety spot to slow that play down. It's a loss of 2 and a 2nd and 12 you're already dealing with. Pass across the middle, though, that is to Hopperton, still involved with the offense. Of course, he was the previous starter at tight end. We'll occasionally see some playtime out there. As Hawkins goes in motion, they do flip it out his way. Couple blockers in front. Gets by the first 2 and speeds to the opposite side of the field. Kent State now plus side at the 44 thanks to the speedy receiver. As they keep with a spread look here, 2 spread either side. RPO. That goes backwards. The right guard just got walked off the snap. And again, you're behind the chains on 2nd down. It looks like Kelsey barking out a few calls out there. 2nd and 14, they keep with that 2 spread. And they've got Carrion with space. He's by the 20 before he is tracked down as the corner on the outside has to bail back to save the play for Pittsburgh. And that is the perfect time for Carrion to step up. He has struggled so far this season. But making up for it now, as it's Harris to the outside. He gets a shimmy by 1 and picks up 8. Watch out now, Kent State building some momentum. Down to the 11 as they come out goal line set here. Kelsey gets them ready for a weak side dive. Harris has the first. Looks like for one of the rare times, it's not going to be Kelsey behind center. Harris is in at quarterback. He sends Gaines in motion with a keeper. Harris loses 5. You definitely understand why they're pulling out some of these calls. But first down has not gone in favor of Kent State so far today. Kelsey throws high. He had the touchdown to Taylor. Just as we've seen from him a lot this season, the accuracies typically aim high. 3rd and goal. You would love to get yourself onto that board. Carrying with the catch, but cannot get by 3 Pitt defenders. Now, you're Coach Ty, you do have to settle for points here. While you would love to go for it, trying to get that touchdown, you got to stay close to Pitt. And that is taking the free 3. Of course, this is a tougher angle for Alano. Left hash, but down the middle. Kent State responds to the Pitt touchdown with a field goal. Getting themselves on the board here at home. It is 7-3, just a shade over a minute in the first quarter. Now for the defense, one thing Coach Ty focused on in the offseason was adding a lot of speed to this group, and that should keep them up in par of step for step with ACC play. Mix that with a little bit of power. You got to stop there on first down at the line. Pitt has been very pass heavy here. Stock still struggles. Continue. Snow's able to get the grab, picking up half the yards needed. 3rd and 5 and an empty set for Holstein. With motion into the backfield, looks like they might try to set up a screen pass here. And again, they find their tight end. Justin Holmes, the senior, has been the safety net in this one so far for Holstein, just constantly sitting underneath and finding a bunch of space. But finding space for the sack is Grayson Howard. Off the snap, he goes untouched. With the play we've seen from him, he's working his way into some draft stock right now. Back-to-back MAC Defensive Players of the Week. Not last week, but the week before was your National Defensive Player of the Week. And he sends us to the break. First quarter has come and gone here in Kent, Ohio. It is a 7-3 ball game with Pitt on top, currently in possession. And Holstein has been perfect on the day. That's not going to stop the Kent State faithful from cheering on their golden flashes. As we look to get the second quarter underway, it is a 2nd and 14 at the 32. Holstein again looking to go to the air with a check down throw across the middle, picking up 3. Well, this is really where you want to be here for Coach Ty. Your defense has a 3rd and 11. You just got to protect the sticks. A lot of pre-snap movement here. It's going to send now 2 spread either side as they look to set up a screen right side. Couple blockers out in space, but Rollison with a great open field tackle. And the first punt forced against Pitt. And frankly, this is where Kent State has got to capitalize. They start at the 25. And it's going to be down the middle for Gaines. His longest run, I believe, of the season. It's not much, but he doesn't get that many. And that's a gain of about 12 or 13. First play. As they go back to the triple option here. Shaking off one. That is Kelsey bringing it to the Panthers defense. I'm sure Coach Ty, well, he loves to see it. The crowd did as well. Doesn't want his quarterback taking hits like that all too often. Flipping this one out. That's Tank Hawkins in space. We know about his speed. He gets down to the 41. And they've been finding extra ways to get him involved of late. Harris now going to be wing over on the right-hand side as they send Gaines in motion across. Flipping it out, it's to Harris. A whole lot of triple option, misdirection. That spin move, breaking the tackle with another spin. But it definitely seems like, at least right now, Kent State is feeling it out there. As it looks like they're setting up their own play here. 2 spread either side, Kelsey getting them ready. Plenty of coverage across the board. So instead, Kelsey will look to step up with the open spaces. He slides down at the 16. It's back-to-back red zone appearances here for Kent State, facing one of the top teams in the nation. As Carrion goes in motion out to the left-hand side, they'll flip it out his way. Tank downfield, a little bit of a block, but a big hit from the safety. As Dakota Taylor has taken a knee, center field. And that's really something you don't want to see. Coach was hyping him up, excited about getting him in the starting lineup. Hopefully we'll find out some good news about him soon. RPO is outside. Hassman picks up 1. Of course, we see him rotate in here and there at that slot receiver spot, but no receivers out there with 3 hands down. In the backfield, it's 3rd and 1, and it's Bailey forward for the first. You always got to keep an eye on the fullback here. Now, once again, we see Harris in the backfield. Gaines is next to him. Harris on the keeper has a slight lane. He picks up about 1. We're definitely seeing some rotation around the goal line. Kelsey's back there with Martin. Again, down just behind the line. Quarterback power, and Kelsey takes it right down the gut. Kent State is in front of Pittsburgh, the number 3 team in the nation, with 3:33 on the clock in your first half of Kent State football. And while we still have plenty of game to go through, right now Coach Ty is making a name for himself and for Kent State on the big stage. As it's an RPO to the outside here, Rollison is on it, gain of 5. Not much competition against the throws today. It's just limiting the after effect. As Holstein yet again looks to go to the air. Outside, he's got his target. That's Barney Jr., the junior receiver and All-American. The 1st and 10. They go play action and go right back to him. He picks up almost another first down. They will continue on with their hurry up here. Pitt trying to keep the Kent State defense on their heels. With 3 options to the right, including the tight end, make that 4 with motion. as they set up the orbit screen. And Harris with a clean tackle. And does, however, go as another Pittsburgh first down. They've been racking up those in this one, all via the pass. They go play action here, lofting this one downfield and dropped by Barney. Rollison was close in coverage, but I can't say he necessarily got a hand on that ball. 2nd and 10, and now they run it with a great play from Cordoba. We haven't got to call his name all too often this year, but he's made some big plays and sets up a 3rd and 15 inside the 2-minute warning. As they look to send this one downfield, it's an interception for Howard. He's looking for a MAC Defensive Player of the Week award for 3 straight weeks. The lurk, as he drifted back, he knew where Holstein was going, and that's only his 2nd interception on the season. Though I believe the first for Howard. And with a solid return coming off of it. You've got 1 minute 51 seconds. You start at the 50 here. You are close enough to find yourselves moving up that scoreboard. Well, the pressure is building here, and under pressure, he throws it out of bounds. Not a receiver in the area. And chalk that one up to the pressure. Kelsey with a mistake, and it's 2nd and 22. As they look to set up the screen to Harris, he had blockers. Unfortunately for Kelsey, he did not. So 3rd and 22. Kent State not trying to blow a huge opportunity here. As the pressure builds, he just uncorks it downfield for Tank Hawkins. Touchdown on 3rd and 22. Pressure bearing down from both outside rushers. And your quarterback in Mason Kelsey just ripped this one downfield. And Tank Hawkins with that 97 speed empties the tank to catch up to that throw and pulls Kent State on top by 10. And while again, still plenty of time, we still have just under 1 minute 40 to go here in the first half. It's upset alert right now. We're the Pitt Panthers, as Gill is all over that screen. Kent State continuing their momentum here, trying to close out the first half strong. At home, hosting the number 3 team in the nation. With a quick throw, it is Kahn, almost behind. The senior tight end there showing he's not only a blocker, he's got great hands as well. Pittsburgh now needs 5 more. With a throw into a tight gap, nearly picked off by Tellender. But that's a 3 and out. And again, you have time to work with. 57 seconds, 3 timeouts here for Kent State. Pittsburgh is already playing everyone back, as they're going to send out Tank Hawkins, get him out into open space. That speed will carry to the sideline. Perhaps, though, they should have played that just right down the center of the field here with next to no one at the bottom of this defense. They got a 3 front, then you got a 4 wall, and then 3 more at the back. Hawkins going to come in motion this time a little bit slower as they do scrunch down the center of that defense. But it's going to be Harris struggling to get by the one defender in his area, but he does pick up that first down as the offense looks to go hurry up off of it. They will have Hawkins and now Taylor back in the game over on the left-hand side, carrying on the right. Snapping that ball and throwing, broken up in an extra spear. That can't have felt good for Hawkins, who's been fantastic for this team early in this game. Flipping out the RPO, that's now to Rogers, who does not get the stiff arm. They'll call their first timeout, 33 seconds. Right now, they have yet to try to air out the ball, and they've played most of their plays short here. They need another short one, the 3rd and 4. They throw, Taylor hooks up with the first down, battling through injury in this one. He's got the offense with a fresh set of downs. Inside 30 seconds, though, they do need to hurry things up a bit. Play action, and missing Taylor. Once again, Kelsey under pressure off the snap. The offensive line definitely a work in progress, facing a tougher group than usual. Trying to squeeze it into a tight window. It's picked off. Forced downfield for Carrion. Do have to love the tackle attempt there, though, from Hawkins. Brookins brought down at the 12, wearing number 12, and that should take us to halftime. But even with a little bit of that sour taste there at the end with the interception, you cannot be upset with how that first half went here for Kent State. 4 targets, 3 grabs, 93 yards, and a touchdown for Tank Hawkins has Kent State on charge. And outside of That one interception coming from Kelsey, he played a very good first half. We just need to see them continue this pace, and the defense has done a fantastic job against Pittsburgh, who has most of their healthy offensive players. They're missing more over on defense. And for Howard, he's well on his way to taking home another trophy, picking off for only the second time Holstein this season. And it will be up to him and the defense to make sure we continue that momentum. As we get the second half started, it is Pittsburgh ball, as they actually look to hand this one off. Goff with space by the diving play, though that ball is free. Harris puts his shoulder right on it. Gill headed down the sideline. We've got a scoop and score. Play one. Kent State is here. They are showing the nation what they have to offer. And for all the recruits in visit today, you've got to have already committed here at halftime. A fantastic play from the safety duo. Harris forces it. Gill capitalizes. Sometimes even when everything seems to go great, something's got to humble you a little bit. Mason Maddox did exit the field after that play, looking a bit banged up, went to see the trainer. Good news, he is out there and will try to fight through it. Well, that is definitely something to keep an eye on. Though they have particularly liked to pass the ball, as they do here. Second down, picking up 7. So there shouldn't be too much heavy pressure on Maddox in this one, though. Changing up the play call here is Pitt. They're going to send 2 over to the right-hand side. It's Holstein on the keeper, trying to get outside, but Bush with the tackle from behind. The third transfer on this defensive line. He does not get talked about much, but he's stuck with that play, and he continues to make the big plays. Now, there is an issue with one of our cameramen out there, so we're going to see how this play goes, and we might look for his replacement. And good news is we had a man just in the waiting. So 2nd and 10, we're back to things as they should be. Rolling outside, throwing high, it's popped up, and it's going to be picked off. Kelsey has to react, getting the touchdown-saving tackle. The pass was high, but Hopperton has got to make a play on that. I don't know if he was distracted, if he heard about the cameraman issue, but that is rough. It gets Pitt the ball inside the 15 as they look to respond. Checking this one down. Gill is there to keep it just a gain of 3. Pittsburgh going to keep with their hurry up here with an empty set. Defense looking to shake up their look, and it's going to be Holstein on a quarterback draw, taking down another gain of 3. And quickly, you have a favorable down here to try to at least just force a field goal attempt. Coming off that turnover, 3rd and 4. Empty set here for Holstein. 4 to the right, including motion and behind. Taking away the screen and breaking up that ball. It's Howard. But Pitt would not settle for the field goal. 24-7, they keep the offense on the field. It is 4th and 4. The defense cannot give up anything here. As the pressure builds, it is out, and they've got the touchdown. Pitt, for the first time since their opening drive, finds the end zone. And it came off a tip ball intercepted by their defense, setting them up at the 18. We're back to a 10-point ball game. Or at least you would have thought. But again, getting pressure, Bush now shows up on special teams. So clearly heading into this one, Coach Ty told the team what they needed to do, and they have stepped up. There's been mistakes, but there is time to hopefully correct those mistakes as Harris can't find any space. This is one of the few times this year he's been held in check. 10 carries, 19 yards. The offense is slowing things down a little bit. Hopperton shakes the tackle attempt. That's great to see after he was the reason, essentially, we threw the previous interception. Looking to go to the air here. That is Hawkins with the first down. Does not come by much, but you take every little bit you can get. As they do hand this one off, it's Bailey down the middle. Could have used a little bit more blocking. It looked like a couple offensive linemen were just standing there for Kent State, but they do pick up 3 on first down. As they go back to that triple option, it's to Harris with space outside. He gets the juke on the safety. Here's a big run for Harris. He's good for a few a game. He gets his first here against the Panther defense. And Kent State is just doing a fantastic job of keeping this defense guessing. They will move that ball around early and often. Hawkins here, though, for the first time, I think, in his career, is contained. And Lee says, I've got a little bit of speed myself. Loss of 5 for Kent State. They're back to the 42. Bunch right-hand side. They look to set up the play here. Across the middle, Carrion holds on. That is through, essentially a spear to the gut. 3rd and 5, they now go bunch left-hand side. Kelsey gets them snapped. Throw is underneath. That's got Carrion again as he almost breaks it to the outside. He does fight through a pair of tackles. And now going hurry up is Kent State. Perhaps they're trying to keep the Panther defense on their back heels. They haven't seen a team come after them like they have today. And throwing, it is to Hassman. 1st down. You always got to feel a little worried when you see Kelsey rolling out that far and not throwing. But he does find his target. 1st and goal as they go with the play action. Open on the outside and should have been a touchdown to Bailey. He instead steps out, and Jeff Mahoney, your starting center, is now exiting the field of play. That's why you cannot miss on opportunities, and that was a missed opportunity at the touchdown. Carrion going to come in motion over from the right-hand side. They do flip it out his way, and he's taken down inches short. So now you got 3rd and goal. Your starting center is out of the game, and the time is running down here for the final play of the 3rd. Goal line, surfing in is Kelsey. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the game puts Kent State well in front here as we look to make our way to the 4th quarter. It is 31-13. The Golden Flashes surprising current number 3 ranked Pittsburgh. This could be devastating to their aspirations for this season and could dramatically shake up the top 25. And frankly, you should also be asking, how high does Kent State deserve to be ranked? As we get the final quarter underway here, Panthers are desperate for a big drive on offense. They start with a spread empty look here. They try to set up their own wide receiver handoff that goes only 2 yards. For all the things that have worked for them this year, nothing really has today with any sort of consistency outside of some short check down plays. As they go to here, but Holmes just runs out of bounds. No gain. 3rd and 8. Holstein with Holmes next to him in the backfield has 2 spread either side with 2 in motion. Going to go back out to the right-hand side. Defense backs up into coverage, protecting the underneath, but not quite protecting the outside. Panthers with a big 1st down there, and all they needed was just to rotate the coverage on the outside. A 1st and 10 with a whole lot of pre-snap adjustments, keeping, and going to pick up a couple hard-earned. Thompson gets involved and did do a great job of setting the edge. As they swing it outside, they're going back to their running back, who's close. Well, you are playing here at Kent State. The referees go in our favor. They mark it 3rd and millimeters at most. As they bring the blitz, and it will hit home. Fall, the transfer DT with the sack, and a 4th and 6 here for the Pitt Panthers. Gotta wonder if they're gonna go for it here, though. They obviously did decide to go for it down by the end zone. They do keep their offense on the field here. 4th and 6, and it's a 7-man front. But they do drop back into coverage, and the slant leaks in behind Gill, who was stepping down to cover the tight end on the right side. Just a fantastic play design there with a delayed slant. And their drive is not done yet. They need a touchdown, and they need it quickly. We are inside 7 minutes to play here. Running back does swing out. Thompson looks to take that play away and dropped. We've seen a couple good plays from Snow, but that time he heard the footsteps. 2nd and 10 here for the Panthers. As they will again go to the air. Outside, Stock still on him, but gives up the catch. Yet again, that does bring up a 3rd down. 3rd and 1 here for the Panthers. As they go trips right-hand side, leaving just one option to the left. Bringing the blitz here, Howard disrupts the timing. He didn't quite get the pressure, so instead he got his mitt up there. That definitely had an effect on where that ball was thrown. 4th and 1. As they motion their running back into the backfield, they look to set up a screen his way. And Donald, who had to check in at linebacker, was slow to get out there, is involved on the tackle. But now it is goal to go here for the Panthers. 2 4th down conversions on this drive have them still with a bit of hope. Buchanan also out there at linebacker as the defense is rotating. With more motion, Perhaps try to look up again, that orbit screen, but it is another sack, and this time it's a new man out there. Haven't called his name this year. It is Roy. We'll have to learn a little bit about him after this drive is over. But second and goal here for the Panthers. They're at the 11. They go RPO, looking to go outside. Buchanan with the touchdown saving tackle. He had to lay out for that one. That does cause a quick break here to get the offense and defense reset. But it's a touchdown for Pitt. It was a desperate drive, and Holstein led them down the field. A couple of fourth down conversions to make this 31-19. We'll see if they decide to go for two or just take the PAT. And it is just indeed the PAT. But getting the sack down there was Jaiheen Roy, the sophomore edge rusher. And he does bring a bit of balance to that edge rush spot with 75 block shed, 71 finesse, and 73 power. As the offense takes the field, we've got 5:11 to go in this game, and we are up 11. We need to milk some more clock while keeping this game well in our favor. For Kelsey, he tries that with a quick dive down the middle, but they don't mark it any further than where it was originally. So second and 10. This time he's got a lane. He takes more contact. He picks up 5. That does at least get you halfway to where you need to be. Third and 5. Keeping this one, Harris. They only mark him forward, a gain of 1. But surprisingly, the offense doesn't go anywhere. They stay on the field. Do they know that they're up 11 here? Well, when you could get that bark and get Fitzsimmons to jump early, I guess you keep the offense out there. And it looks like one of those situations where you tell everyone, hey, we're not going to move, but we're going to hard count and see if they jump. If they don't, you take the penalty. And then you just move yourself back a little bit. As Harris, once again, on the triple option attempt goes nowhere. As mentioned earlier here in the broadcast, he's definitely not used to being corralled as he has been today. But you're going to run into these games every now and then. RPO is to the outside with Tank Hawkins. As he didn't quite get the block he was looking for there. Timeout is called by Pitt. For Kent State, they'll have another 3rd and 5 at the 40. With a hard count this time, no one does offer. But wide open on the outside, Taylor, a little high, but he adjusts to it and picks up another first down. Only one timeout remaining here for Pitt. And in just about a season and a half, Coach Ty has Kent State battling with one of the top teams in the country. Harris, he runs left side here. He's got about a gain of 5 or 6 as the final timeout is called. Only the 2-minute break will stop it. And for Pitt, that means they need to get these stops quickly. Bailey motioning into the backfield as he takes on the linebacker. Harris fights forward and he picks up the first down. Now there is an injury in Jaleel Parker for Pitt. Now I don't want to say anything's happening that isn't happening, but there's been rules put in place of late to try to take away fake injuries from stopping that clock. There was no penalty given here. They assess it is a true injury. And that play gets taken away quickly. This sends us through the 2-minute break as well with a 2nd and 12 plus side here for Kent State. They are just trying to milk this clock. Bailey motions into the backfield as they do go with some play action. Flipping it out to Bailey as he crosses the pattern all the way to the 35. And with no timeouts to call here for the Panthers, they are running out of time inside a minute and a half. A 3rd and 5 they could really use with this stop. But they forgot about carrying outside. The RPO has worked time and time again today for Kent State. And with it, they will deserve this right here. Kelsey kneels down the upset. Kent State dominates the Pittsburgh Panthers at home and puts their name in the bid to be top 25. But down goes number 3. What a showing for the Flashes. An absolutely perfectly executed game plan. And that's gonna land you some recruits. Sam Battles joins us from Lake Forest, Illinois. We also look to add Emmanuel Komar, the will linebacker from Cleveland, Ohio. And to make it 3 weeks in a row, Grayson Howard is also taking your MAC Defensive Player of the Week with 4 tackles, 2 for a loss, and a sack. And can't forget, he had the interception there as well. Now, it was a phenomenal showing across the board. Somehow, though, it was not quite enough to convince Tejeda to go ahead and join us, but it was a great visit, and we are very close to locking him down. In terms of actually just checking how that visit went here, we can see all the boosts that we have over here. So we got 3 ups from a higher tier opponent, plus 50% for a clear winner. We also had the complimentary visit with Emmanuel Komar headed there, attended a position meeting, so he got 4 boosts there. Overall, that was a beautiful visit, and he should hopefully be committing next week. And in addition, it did once again open up our recruiting for Teague, so we could look to try to bring him in. He is a JUCO, a sophomore, but hey, we could always use with some talent on this team. And on top of that, we have some extra points here, so we can definitely start to try to sprinkle some things in, again, get some more hard or soft sells on, and try to get these a bit more closer to completion. Now, unfortunately, even picking up that big win against the 3rd best team in the country, all it does is move them from 3 down to 17. We are not in the top 25, nor are we currently receiving any votes. So we still apparently have a long way to go before we convince these guys that we are legit. And that even has to deal with our own conference as well, where we still are not the top team listed. We are 6-1, same as Buffalo. We are 3-0 in conference, so are they. Toledo's also 3-0. They're at the top, though, despite being 4-2. So there's some weird things happening here. But once again, just like last year, we are in the race for a MAC championship game. This year, we don't want to leave that into the hands of other guys. So we got to make sure we show up. And we have to carry this momentum from taking down Pitt into our rivalry game on the road. Something we have not done in the last handful of weeks was go on the road. We finished up our homestand in a beautiful way. Let's start the away stretch as well, also in a beautiful way, by taking down our rival in Bowling Green. Make sure you are here for it by hitting that bear icon in the bottom right or scrolling down, hitting that sub button and tapping that bell icon. And leave the boys some love for executing the game plan exactly like we needed it. There were some hiccups, but we overcame all of those, and we picked up the biggest win under Coach Ty. And hopefully, there's just many more to come.